and thanks for tuning in to the last episode of our Cheltenham Daily Preview in association with Boyle Sports. Joined again today by Gavin Lynch to preview Friday's action. I suppose one of the most exciting cards of the whole week, the Gold Cup on. But I suppose quickly to reflect on Wednesday's action first. We're recording this at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. Willie Mullins got his 100th winner up yesterday, a big day for him, and Rachel Blackmore got the big one in the champion chase for Captain Guinness.
Yeah, brilliant for Willie to get 100 winners at Cheltenham. I don't think I'd ever see the day, but yeah, brilliant. I'm sure he'll get to 150 someday too. An amazing man. People talk about he's got all the big owners. He didn't always have the big owners. I remember 15 years ago, his biggest owners before Rich Ritchie came along were just syndicates and stuff, so he's grafted all his life, and he's well deserved of all the accolades. I won't know what to do tomorrow at 11 o'clock, Emma. There'll be no Cheltenham to talk about except go and watch it somewhere. So, Friday for me, the Gold Cup is the best race of the year. It's just an incredible event. It's probably over a crazy trip, 3 miles, 250 yards or whatever, instead of 3 miles that we're used to. But it's an amazing race every year, and I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll be kind of building up to it all year. It's getting a bit sad now towards the end of the week, but we'll enjoy the day or two that's left in it anyway. We'll drive straight into the racing. So we'll talk about the Triumph Hurdle first. Big news today, I suppose, just came out in the last hour or so. Sergino is out of the race. I suppose with the form of the Nicky Henderson horses so far this week, it's not a massive surprise, but that leaves Willie Mullins with the strongest hand in here again. Majborough, who had a massive race at Dublin Racing Festival on stable debut in there at 11-4. And Salvador Mundi could be a bit of a dark horse in here. Of course, he was second to Sergino back in AT before he came to the Mullins stable. First time out for the yard. Has the hood on and Brian Hayes on board. Gavin, I suppose the complexion of the race has changed completely. What's your thinking in this one?
This is more like the Irish Derby. Willie has 7 of the 13. Usually it's Aidan has 7 out of 13. But the first 4 home in the Spring Juvenile all reappear against each other. Majborough's favourite, which is understandable, did have a win in France. And then, to finish third in the Spring Juvenile, normally Willie Mullins' horses improve a lot for a run. So, for example, Cargie's, if we call her that, she was very keen at Christmas. She improved a lot to win the Spring Juvenile. So if Majborough shows the same level of improvement, obviously he's going to run a massive race. He's a gorgeous, big, chasing type, and he's stunning to look at. Others ran well the last day. Bunting stayed on very, very well, and also Paul has stayed loyal to Stormheart. A lot of people thought maybe he'd ride Salvatore Mundi, as you mentioned, was second to Sergino back in Ottoy. Last year. He has first time headgear for Brian Hayes, so he obviously has a big engine. I looked at that replay, wasn't in the best positions that day against Sergino and stayed on well. Look, it's a very open race. One of the horses that definitely deserves a mention is Nürburgring, belonging to Joseph O'Brien. He's already shown that he's good with the juveniles, winning the Boodles with Lark in the morning. He's going to be a very, very strong stayer. This is on the new track. It's 2 miles, 1 more or less, and if it was 2.5 miles, Nürburgring, I'd love it even more. He just stays forever. So I definitely won't lose money if Nürburgring wins it. But I suppose really on the balance of form and in the hope that Majborough will improve a lot for the first run, maybe him. But it's a very, very open race.
Yeah, he seems to be the one with all the strong vibes. I heard Ruby getting interviewed earlier in the week, and he said if he was Paul, he'd be ringing up JP trying to look at the ride on Majborough. But Paul stayed loyal to Stormheart. He must think there's more to come from him. And Salvador Mundi, Brian was really talking him up on the preview last week, so he must have a big engine. First start for the yard will be a big ask for him, but we've seen Willie go close with first-time outers at Cheltenham before for the stable. I think Concertista was second in that Mayor's Novice Hurdle at a massive price a few years ago. So I'm with Majborough. Willie actually put him up as a dark horse to follow on the IrishRacing.com stable tour back in October. So I backed him anti-post back then. I'm not sure I back him again at 11-4, but so tune into those Irish Racing stable tours. You'll get all the inside information.
That's the job.
But we'll go on to the next race then. Anyway, the County Hurdle. Dan Skelton has been sweeping up the handicap so far at Cheltenham, and he's got I won't even try to pronounce it. He's got Ludesod. So do I think he was second in the Betfair Hurdle anyway last time. Big chance in here. I think Dan Skelton and Willie Mullins dominate this race. Won 8 of the last 9 renewals. But Gordon Elliott actually has the favourite in here. King of Kingsfield. Gordon's horses have been running well so far this week. Could be a big day for him on Thursday. And this lad seems to be given a decent chance by the handicapper. Hasn't been put up on his Irish rating.
You mentioned there about Madgeborough Antipost. I'm going to give you a sad story. Can I give you a sad story?
Yeah, I do.
I did back around that time. I done a lucky 15, Madgeborough at 20s for Triumph. I stuck in Dino Blue at 10s. I stuck in Allaho at 7s, and I stuck in Ballyburn at 12 to 1 for the
Supreme. Oh God. Oh God.
That could have been good. But anyway, moving on to the county hurdle. Lotus Sud ran a cracker in the Betfair hurdle at 129, is up now £6 to 135. Dan Skeltons, as we saw there with the infamous Langer Dan yesterday, etc.
What did you make of that one?
I don't even want to talk about it because it annoys me a little bit. Second in the Market Pipe, brought down in the Market Pipe, wins the Coral Cup, wins it again. Anyway, we'll move on. Lotus Sud, second to Iberico Lord in the Betfair hurdle. You might say, the form's not great as Iberico Lord ran terribly in the champion hurdle, but Nickies aren't right. The fact that they paid 18,000 to supplement Iberico Lord must think that, they think he's a very, very good horse. So, up £6. He will travel very, very strongly like he did in Newbury. I'm sure he'll loom up there with Harry turning it to the straight. Others to mention Zenta, Magical Zoe, and So Scottish. They all finished second, third, and fourth in a handicap hurdle at the DRF. They all have chances. Zenta was third in the Triumph hurdle last year. She's in here off 145. The one thing you'll say is that they were beaten by an 11-year-old belonging to Harry Rogers the last day, so maybe that's a slight question. Bayali stock was going very well that day when brought down 2 out. But I'm going to go for King of Kingsfield. We mentioned him already. If you're looking for form boosts during the week, you can't get much better form boost than Slade Steele winning the Supreme and Ballyburn winning the Gallaghers very, very easily. So to be left from 140 seems very, very fair. He was always a talking horse that he always worked really well. He used to make the running. They changed the tactics in the Royal Bond, held up and finished second. Won a decent maiden hurdle on good ground at Christmas on the 26th. It was actually decent ground that day. Then finished third, as we said, the 2 winners this week. Look, I'd prefer if it was 2 miles instead of 2-1. I'd prefer if it was the old track because it's tighter, and I'd prefer if it was better ground, but I still think he'll get away with it. He'll travel very strongly into the race. I think he's 4 or 5 to 1, and I'd be very surprised if he's out of the first, out of the places. And it'd be nice to see Gordon get on the score sheet today, Thursday, or tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah, for sure. And Gordon was saying, I think he was highly touted as a bumper horse, but he disappointed a small, but he was saying, but he was hoping he could get back and win a big one for him at some stage. And this might be the one. And like you said, he bumped into some decent ones earlier on in the year. Absurd, another one bumped into Ballyburn. Yeah. Really such a good record in this. I think 5 and 6 year olds do really, really, really well in this race. But Zenta is probably my pick in here. I just thought last year's juvenile hurdle form is so strong now. Looking at Lassie Mouse, she was beaten by Lassie Mountain Gallimar. So in last year's juvenile hurdle, went on to win her Grade 1 in Aintree. 5-year-old, they abandoned chasing early on. She disappointed down in Cork, but I thought it was an eye-catching one at the Dublin Racing Festival last time. And off her mark at 142, I think she's got a great each-way chance. And surely JP will get a handicap winner toward before the end of the week as well. So I'm going to stick with Zenta, and she's a nice each-way price there at about 11 to 1. But we'll go on to the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle then. It's kind of a graveyard for favourites in here. I think 9 of the last 10 winners have been double-figure odds. So it can be tough for those short price ones in here. And Willie has Reading Tommy Wrong, the favourite at the moment. He won the Laurels an ace last time, beating Il Atlantique and Lecky Watson. He's a choice of Paul Townend. Would you be worried about the records of favourites in this one?
I would. I'm looking at irishracing.com, and underneath at the bottom of the race card, they show you the last 10, 15, 20 years. So are you ready for the last 10 winners of this race?
Go for it.
18 to 1, 18 to 1, 14 to 1, 5 to 1, 50 to 1, which was Manila Indo. 33 to 1, 16 to 1, 11 to 1, 14 to 1, 33 to 1. So, as you say, more or less a graveyard for punters, this one. There seems to be very, very strong vibes for Reading Tommy Wrong. Paul has picked him. He had a choice, the second, third, favourites, etc. Look, the question is he going to stay 3 miles? The Lawlers and Ace was his first step up to 2.5. He even got beaten at point to point, just to keep that in mind. Il Atlantique finished third in the Gallagher, so I suppose the form is fine. I'd say he'll go off 2 to 1, 5 to 2 because it's Willie, it's Paul. He's a massive chance. The little question is, will he stay? Every year in this race, we all think that there's 2.5 milers that will love stepping up and trip, and it doesn't happen most of the time. That's why you're getting big, big price winners. And actually, Shannon Bob, who's an on-runner, is literally one of the only ones that were in the favourites that has run over 3 miles. Captain Teague is stepping up from 2.5 from the Challow. Dancing City did win over 2.6. He's not a glamorous horse, He doesn't catch people's eye, but he'll stay forever. Gidley Park won well the last day. He'll probably appreciate the step up and trip. Johnny Who will. Lecky Watson definitely will. He won over 2.7 in Thurles. Spread boss Ted, etc., etc. But High Class Hero did win over 2 miles, 6.5 furlongs in Thurles. He'd probably prefer better ground. I backed him a few months ago, so I hope he runs well. But I think it's probably a race to avoid, really. But the vibes seem quite strong on reading Tommy Ron.
Yeah, it seems to be doing all the right things. And when Daryl Jacob mentioned straight after that win in Laura's and Ace that he's probably won for the Albert Bartlett, so they're probably hoping that he will stay well enough. I thought Lecky Watson was interesting there, around 10-1. Brian Hayes, hold on first time. This can be a funny race, and he's just such a dour stayer. I'd say he'll stay up the hill very well, but I might actually take a small chance on Search for Glory, Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy each way. He's a second season novice hurdler. He ran in this last year, blew out, which is a bit of a worry, all right, in fairness, but I thought he was just very good. Winning in Clonmel last time. He's got the blinkers on first time, and he could be just the one who suits this kind of marathon 3-mile hurdling trip. So I might take a small chance each way on him. But we'll go on to the next race anyway, which is the Gold Cup, the big one. We're all looking forward to it. Galopin Des Champs back here to defend his crown. Fast or Slow is his closest market in the rival. They've had a great little rivalry all season long. I really enjoyed it. Are you backing Galopin Des Champs to do the double?
I don't think so, Emma. Last year, he was my nap at the festival. I had him in plenty of multiples, but this year I haven't backed him. Love the horse, probably my favourite horse in training, but I just think he's had 3 tough runs. Obviously, Ulster Impressive at Christmas, winning by 23 lengths. He was very good in the Irish Gold Cup as well. He's a class act. He's the best staying chaser we've seen, probably since Fatal Star. He's a magic racehorse. Just wonder, has he had, 3 tough runs? He's even money. Last year, he'd only, I think, 2 runs and he was 2-1. So, slight difference for me. Fast or Slow, I think, is the best jumper in the race. I know Brave Man's Game is an excellent jumper, but I think Fast or Slow is a really fast jumper, and that'll stand to him quite a lot. I wonder, is Corrick Rambler and also Hewick, are they going to run? There's talk that maybe they will, maybe they won't, because of the soft ground. So that'd be a pity. I hope they show up. The real whacker is probably the pace in the race. I'd imagine Galopin Des Champs might sit second or third to him. If the ground was good, I would give Corrick Rambler a right good chance of being in the first 3, but I think the ground might be gone against him. Gentleman's Game has only had the 3 runs over fences. Beat Brave Man's Game in the Charlie Hall, getting £6 at the start of the season. That was a great run, so he's quite unexposed. I think Mouse Morris's last winner at Cheltenham was in 2011, so it'd be great to see if he could get back and win his enclosure. But love Galopin Des Champs, favourite horse, but I'd probably going to chance Fast or Slow each way at 5-1.
Yeah, Fast or Slow, he's kind of rock solid there. He's there the whole time. Ground should suit him, and maybe staying the trip might be a slight question about him, but probably no reason why he wouldn't get up that hill pretty well. He was good second in the Carl Cup there a couple of years ago as well, but I'm probably going to stick with Galopin Des Champs myself. I remember last year I was saying all year long he'll win it, but he's too short, so I went to it. I think I went with Statler and Little Endo, the first 2 horses to pull up in the Gold Cup. So I normally said I'd go for the value, but I'm going to stick with Galopin Des Champs. But I do think Gentleman's Game is a bit of a dark horse in here for Mouse. I mean, I think it was his 3rd start over fences when he beat Brave Man's Game. Coming into a Gold Cup with such little experience is obviously a worry, but to be great to see him on a big race for Mouse to get another nice horse for him. And Hewick, I suppose questions about whether he will run. I'm hoping the ground is drying out. I don't think they've got too much rain since. We'll have to wait and see on that one, I suppose, but it'd be great to see him on a big race. And Monkfish, I suppose, another notable runner in there for Willie. They decided to go for the Gold Cup rather than the Stayers. Patrick takes the ride. I suppose a couple of years ago, if you saw Monkfish being 20-1 for the Gold Cup, you'd take the price, but there's more questions about him now, I suppose, with his injury record. But cracking race. I'm with Galopin Des Champs. Gavin's with Fast or Slow, but it'll be a great spectacle, whoever comes out on top anyway. We'll go on to the 4:10 then. The Hunter's Chase. I mean, not one I will be getting too involved with betting-wise, but we've got It's on the Line in there, very fancied runner for Emmett Mullins, purchased by JP McManus last week, and Derek O'Connor takes the ride. We saw him with a brilliant ride on Corbett's Cross on the first day of the festival. But there's also Ferns Lock in there for the David Christie team. Sorry, he skipped the festival last year, but looks like a horse with a massive engine. Gavin, do you get involved in these hunter chases, or will you be giving it a skip?
I would see. I think it's a very, very interesting race in terms of in running. It's on the line. Never travelled a yard in the race last year. I'd say it was trading probably at 100-1 at the top of the hill. I wasn't even in the picture jumping the last and stayed on very, very well to finish second. He's a quirky horse. He's just a little bit lazy more than anything. He's totally genuine. He loves a battle. He jumps really well, but he just kind of gets lazy in himself in the race. He's got the cheap pieces back on, which he hasn't worn since Punchestown last year. He's had 4 runs since. In Naas, I backed him the last day, and after 2 fences, I was going, oh, here we go again. And he was off the bridle, been shoved along, and he ends up just hanging on from Billaway. So, as I said, he's very honest, but just a bit lazy. It'll be interesting to see how well he travels in the race. The opposite can be said for Ferns Lock. He travels amazing. He travels very strongly. He jumps really well. But as you saw in Down Royal at Christmas, when it came to a battle in the last 100 yards, it's on the line Cheltenham. So it's going to be very interesting. I'd say the betting running players will be having a field day on this one. Billaway is 12. He had a good run back in Naas. Normally his first run back is terrible, but that was quite a good run. And don't forget Premier Magic, the 11-year-old, won this race very, very easily last year and is a 6 or 7 to 1 shot and certainly would have an each race squeak. So I'm very interested. I might have a play in running depending on what's happening. It's on the line. The vibes are quite strong. As you said, Derek had a winner the other day in the National and Chase. It'll be very interesting to watch to see how well he travels during the race.
Yeah, in running could be a good angle to this because it can be a messy one. I remember when Eugene O'Sullivan won it a couple of years ago, they came to pass, he got a flyer at the start and they could just never peg him back. But nice to see the old boy Sam Coe back in here again. He's won 14 to 1. He was beaten in a point-to-point in Bell Harbour last time, but I mean, at his very best, he should be able to put it up to some of these. I'll probably wait and see what the ground is like on the day for Ferns Lock. He's one I actually quite like in here, but I just think he's a bit better on nicer ground. If it gets a bit softer, he might be reeled in, like you said, coming up the hill by the likes of It's on the Line. Like if you watch that run in Down Royal, you'd say turning down the back straight in Down Royal, I mean, It's on the Line had no chance. Ferns Lock was galloping all over him, but just got pegged in again coming up that hill. But I think he's just a better horse on better ground. So if it came up a bit nicer on the Friday, I'd take a little chance on Ferns Lock. But It's on the Line, purchased by JP McManus, must be a pointer towards how strongly they're fancying him here. But we'll go on to the Mayor's Chase then, the 450. Dino Blue, even money favourite here for Willie Mullins. Allegory Devassi ran in this race last year. I think she second in it last year, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, she won last time out as well at Naas. Showed back to her best form. Gavin Cromwell has a few nice mares in here as well, though, Limerick Lace and Brideshill. So it's not all just Mullins domination. Do you fancy in this, Gavin?
Yeah, I think it's a good race, and I actually like the mare's races, the mare's novice, the mare's hurdle, and the mare's chase personally at Cheltenham. A lot of people don't, but I do. I think they're good for punters as well. A lot of pace in this race. Honesty, Kestrel Valley, Marsh Wren might be up there, so I think we'll go a good step. I think that'll suit Dino Blue. The question mark is, will she stay at the 2 miles 4 and 127 yards? And a couple of years ago, she ran a Grade 1 novice hurdle behind Brandy Love, and I thought she stayed very strongly through the line that day over 2.5. She hasn't run over 2.5 over fences yet, but she was a bit unlucky, made a few mistakes in the Grand Annual, came back to Fairhurst and Punchestown, won 2 big handicaps. This season, she's been great. She beat, Gordon Elliott's horse in Naas.
Fildor,
yeah. And then she goes and beats Gentleman to Me at Christmas. Now, that was Gentleman to Me's first run, but even so, he finished second in the champion chase. She beats Gentleman to Me again in the DRF when behind El Fabiolo. I think that's top class form. She's £5 clear on ratings compared to Allegory Devassi. Has to give her 2. She ran very well in it last year, second. She does jump a little bit to her right. On her first 5 jumps at Naas, she jumped badly right the last day, and then she jumped quite straight. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on it. Brideshill probably wants better ground. I see Keith Donoghue is on Limerick Lace. She's from a staying family. Her half brother, another way you're thinking, runs in the Kim Muir today. So Limerick Lace second in the Tri-Town, wins over 2.5. No issue with the trip whatsoever. Definitely got a strong each way chance. I've backed Dino Blue a good while ago, so I'm just crossing my fingers and toes that she wins, and I'm hoping. I think she will stay, and I think she's the best horse in the race.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I thought she was one of the more solid favourites throughout the week. Like you said, you mentioned that run over 2.5 miles in that Ferryhouse Mayor's Novice. I thought she ran through the line very well as well that day. I wouldn't have the stamina concerns that maybe some people have, and like you said, she's probably up there with the next best of the 2 mile chasers, even amongst the geldings. Her runs so far this year have been very, very strong. And her like you mentioned, her jumping, like it can be kind of her biggest flaw, but her biggest asset at the same time. She can just fly over a jump and she can hit it sometimes a little bit like El Fabiolo, but she can be really, really quick when she gets it right. So yeah, I find it hard to see her getting beat here, and I'm hoping she'll get the job done for Willie Mullins.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm just asking now with this second. If she ran in yesterday's champion chase, considering that El Fabiolo more or less fell and pulled up, And where Gentleman to Me finished, I think she might have won yesterday's champion chase. You know that?
She wouldn't have been too far away anyway, like judging on that last one on Ecclestone.
So she was ahead of it the last day. I think she would have went very close yesterday.
Yeah, she would have. I mean, yeah, she's beaten Gentleman to Me. She's beaten Captain Guinness. I think she's right up there behind El Fabiolo. She's right up there with I think some of the best 2 milers. She'd be getting that as well. So yeah, she would have been right there, I'd say. But we go on to the Martin Pipe last race of the festival. Hopefully we won't be relying on it too much to end a good week. But Willie Mullins, I suppose, in here with short price favourite. There's strong vibes around this Key to Bourbon, and I suppose very notable to have Michael O'Sullivan riding in this race as well. He lost his claim towards the end of last season in Ireland, but the rules in Britain are a bit different. He's allowed to ride in this, and he'll be a massive asset. Some more fancied ones in there. Watford Whispers, strong vibes around him as well from the Henry de Bromhead Yard, and Mike O'Connor, a very good claimer, rides him as well. Gavin, do you have a fancy here?
Yeah, sure. Back Key to Bourbon, Emma. I'm hoping to finish on a positive note, but back to the point to go. 2 runs in France. One maiden hurdle ace over 2-3, staying. The last day it beats Westport Cove over 2 miles in Clonmel. I don't think you'll ever see Key to Bourbon run over 2 miles ever again. I think he'll end up being a 3-mile horse. The fact that Michael O'Sullivan, who right yesterday, is riding, I think, is a massive help. They usually go too quick, but Michael O'Sullivan has got a great clock in his head, and I don't think if they did go too quick, I don't think he'd get caught out by being too close to the pace. So I think he's got a massive chance off 140. It was interesting that about a month ago, Willie went looking for a rating for this horse in England, and anytime he does that, it's always worth keeping a note of. Waterford Whispers, I backed that at Christmas in Leopardstown. Was very surprised to see it get beat up 123. Runs here off £10 higher, 133 in the UK. Get £7 off Key to Bourbon. One inferior and a very, very fast time from Answer to Cave. And I think he'll finish ahead of him again. So Waterford Whispers, yeah, price got a little bit short around 4-192. Yates Star finished 3rd when Waterford Whispers was 2nd at Leopardstown. I think that's a big price. That could run definitely a solid each way race is Yates Star. But again, crossing the fingers and the toes that Key to Bourbon wins the last.
Yeah, shouting Yates Star there as well looks a good one. Gigi and jockey bookings can be so important here. And Shane Fitzgerald is a claimer with plenty of experience. Was a good point-to-point rider before he turned professional as well. So he's ridden a Cheltenham Festival winner, I'm sure. Did he ride Commander of Fleet to win the Coral Cup or something a couple of years ago? So he has that experience of winning at Cheltenham. One more to give a mention to, I think, Answer to Cave for John Shinnick and Terence O'Brien. It's a jockey partnership. He's been riding him all along. He's not able to claim in here, but he knows the horse very well. Thought he was very good, beating Captain Cody and Nace last time as well. It'd be nice to see Terence, a Cork man, getting a winner at Cheltenham. But I actually really fancy better days ahead in here for the Gordon Elliott team. His form has been boosted really strongly, I thought, all week long. I thought he was really good behind Slade Steele in that Navan Grade 2, only beaten about 5 lengths that day. He made a bit of a mistake at the last as well, so he could have even been a little bit closer. So being behind Supreme Novice winner that day, he's up a mark of 140 here, I think. Danny Gilligan, a great claimer on board as well. Gordon loves to target this race, so I think 9-1, he's a good each way shout in here. But Key to Bourbon for Gavin, and I'm going to take a chance on better days ahead each way. We'll wrap it up there now. Getting a bit sad, our last one of the festival. So hopefully we can finish it off with some winning naps and next best. Gavin, I'll go to you first.
The nap will be Dino Blue, and the next best will be Key to Bourbon in the Get Out Stakes.
Very good. I'm actually going to go nap Zenta each way in the county hurdle. I'd say she'll be up in the placings anyway. And my next best, I actually might do a double on Dino Blue and Galloping Des Champs, hopefully to end a good week for Willie Mullins. But we'll finish up there. Thanks very much, everyone, for listening to us all week long. Hope you enjoyed the show. And thanks a million, Gavin, for your insights. You were great to have on. And hopefully we'll get you on again another time soon. But if you're having a bet over the week, make sure to gamble responsibly. And we'll be back after Friday's racing and after Thursday's racing with Mark Enright to review all the action.
Thanks, Emma.